the reason that it's not really safe to first pick Shyvana anymore.
Right.
I guess, as we just saw in that last game.
I guess.
LMQ proved like that is, it's not safe to first pick Shyvana anymore because Kayle is so scary for them that then you're forced in a situation, are we going to have this bad matchup or are we going to give up this early dragon? And TSM told us to give up early dragon and then all consecutive dragons. But yeah, so Cloud9, they ban out the Kayle, then they first pick the Shyvana, solidifying that 4 balls up in the top lane. So very intelligent pick bans from Cloud9, securing themselves a top lane, protecting themselves against that Kayle.
Krepo looking to safety, or solidify safety and playmaking with a Thresh pick and a Twitch for Altec. We're going to see a bit of diversity from him coming out in this game. We'll see if he can really put down the impact plays coming out of invisibility. As High and Sneaky now go to round out a bit of the composition here. May leave High for last pick, as we already got Meteos on the jungle. Something Snoopeh left up as well, so Snoopeh's not that he's not feeling comfortable, but doesn't want to pick a jungler yet until he sees more.
Yeah, let's see. He can save his pick because
they already got there.
Ooh, High again going back to Kha'Zix. All right, Kha'Zix into a Lulu here. See if he can fare better this time than he did against LeBlanc. Lulu does again have range advantage and pushing power for Kha'Zix, but Cloud9 have been okay in the past with having a low CS mid that will have strong impact later in the game for them. Can High roam around and get those isolation kills. Right. Also, they've been able to get that Elise. That's huge for them, even though Nami's banned out. LemonNation's a huge fan of Morgana. I'm pretty sure Cloud9 will just go right back to Morgana here and, yeah, rely on both of those Skillshot CCs to work with. They're very, very comfortable running that combo.
That's a lane that also says we're going to do more damage than anyone in this game, if they can get to it. The Eve picked up for Snoopeh, actually. Looking at the composition he has to fight, it looks quite dangerous to be sneaking in on somebody like Cloud9 has put together. But we'll see what they can do. They do have the safety from Pobelter on the Wild Growth, and InnoX is on kind of a safety champion to keep the lane going, and InnoX can be InnoX late game.
Yeah, there is a lot of invisibility on this EG team. So if Cloud9 are not careful with their vision control towards that mid game, then they can get picked off easily by this roaming squad. Trundle into Shyvana, though, that's always a good one for the Trundle side, being able to shred her later. So good late game there for EG.
And as the champs are locked in, we're going to go ahead and see who you voted for over at LOLesports.com. And with 89% of the vote, Cloud9 leads EG right now. But remember to update your vote throughout the game by tweeting either hashtag EGWin or hashtag CloudC9win to at LOLesports. Be sure we'll be checking back to see how you guys are calling the game, as well as us. So keep tuned.
Yes, always like to have those mid-game tweets. Hilarious. Especially when we do get the ones from Skara and friends chiming in.
Yeah. Sometimes the greatest. I remember Darius had a good few ones. But yeah, if you aren't actually following hashtag LCS, you can keep it up in your thing. You should, because there are some amazing tweets. You might even get kind of a heads up on what the big plays are going to be, because that's where all the big plays goes. And then you can obviously tweet your own big plays. Participation. Or just come here and hang out in the studio with us, because that's the better way to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty full today.
Yeah,
actually.
Absolutely. Everybody's loving it. Throwing out poros, bananas, and oranges. Bananas and oranges are new today, so all you guys just got something new. We haven't done that yet. It's K. It's K. As we load into the game, we are going to get ready for your second match of the day. EG versus C9. Cloud9 looking to keep themselves towards the top of the bracket, and EG, they're looking to get up there now. Trying to make some changes at an AD carry position. We'll see how this works out for the team. There's been kind of the rumors that there might be more changes for Evil Geniuses coming in, but so far they're sticking with this roster.
Yeah, let's see how they can perform. Early game is going to be pretty important for them. Anytime you do have Evelyn.
Right.
It looks like they are going to target top side. See if they can get some vision down here to determine where lanes are going. Trundle should be fine going in that 1v1 matchup. And the duo depends a lot on skill shots that land, whether it be bindings or death hooks. Going to have side lane bush control. Very important. It's actually something that Cloud9, they can use their trinket wards all for side lane bush control, just because the jungler is Evelyn. And they wouldn't have to worry about using regular wards to see her coming, because it won't help anyway.
Getting out of that. Looks like EG does want in. It's going going to be Snoopeh first. No trigger, actually, to high, so he doesn't see that Evelyn made it first, but it's not going to matter. The whole team's there with the caboose of Altec. They're going to make it safely over to red. And right now, they're pinched by Cloud9.
So the red side invade, they don't have to stay over here, though, so it's not necessarily going to be a lane swap from EG. Though if they stay around a few more seconds, it will have to be.
I was going to say, are they going to do the Wiz Fusion grab over and over again?
This is actually a very strong mind game. Entering the jungle, knowing that your opponents have seen you enter, but then just recalling in a bush. So they're not sure whether you're still there and counter-jungling that red, or if you've all gone back. What you can do is then prey on your opponent's tendency to try and trade red buffs and go find them at your red buff to counter it. But Cloud9 do have a deep ward in that Wraith bush as well that would see it coming. So we'll just have regular blue starts for both junglers and the lane swap from EG going up top.
All right, keeping it safe. 2v-nuns. We'll see how this works out. Obviously, teleports to the top lanes. We'll see if it's played differently, though, how Ackerman and LNQ did it last time. A little help for Snoopeh and InnoX as well in the jungle. So the matchup will not happen for the AD carries, which means Sneaky and LemonNation are going to be very big and ready to, as we said, do a lot of damage coming out of that bottom lane when the time comes. They also, as we saw it hurt TSM last time, they could have more dragon control from the get-go now.
Yeah, Cloud9 are going to have the dragon control. It's defaulted to them by the support and AD carry down bottom, and jungle Elise is going to make that even easier for them to take the early dragons. She can tank it with her spiderlings for part of the damage. You don't have to Mad Knife it and switch out all of the dragon aggro. But EG, they didn't want to go into that matchup because if Altec gets hit by a binding at the wrong time in that matchup, then it's just going to be very, very hard for them to even stay in that lane. Very risky lane, as we were saying. But very good for Cloud9 because, as I said, bottom lane contributes more than 50% of their damage to champion nowadays, which is the most for any team, by the way. Very, very, very high up there. And they do go for the early dragon. Just tank it up with some spiderlings. See how they manage the aggro, because you can technically avoid all the damage by going closer and then farther away to get the dragon turning. It's getting off auto attacks. They're not doing it.
That was funny.
It's not that clean, but they avoided some.
Balls was standing there. Lemon's running in and out. He's like, you need to move too. They're going to be able to get this one, though. Locking it down. Nice binding by Lemon.
What it is one person stands at a static distance. Which would be balls, but it's not that close. So then the other person wants closer than that person to get it to turn around, and then you go outside of that person's range to get it to change targets once again. But pretty cleanly done. Avoided some of the damage there, and they do get not only the little gold boost for basic gold dragon, but they also get the timer. We'll see how effectively they can chain it. LMQ did an amazing job of chaining their dragons.
A little Krepo roam. Uh-oh. High seeing that top side. A little bit of Spidey sense for him, and he keeps himself safe.
Yeah. Mid-game, 4-man ganks on mid have become so popular that all the mid laners play much safer now. And High backs off, rightly so.
Wow.
Doesn't go down to that. Doesn't even take any harass in it. So
this rotation right now that Meteos and Balls have going, timing that Wraith back to the Golems, and they'll have back to their white side, Wolves, and then back to EG side.
Well, basically what the new meta does is section off the map left side to right side here. Instead of purple and blue sides, it's really top side of the map and bottom side of the map. It depends on wherever your support and AD carry are. So really, Cloud9's side of the map is the bottom side. So this half of the red side jungle of EG is actually Cloud9 territory, and same so for Cloud9's red side. We'll just see how many wards each team can leave behind in that jungle after they leave, because that's really Cloud9's calling card. The mid-game vision that they leave behind after invading those areas, continuing to control them. They've actually got 2 wards down there in EG's side, whereas there's only been 1 on their own. And it actually timed out already.
Yeah. AD carry's loving this little style of play here. Obviously going to level up faster solo in these lanes, and 3 people couldn't do much to Sneaky there. Almost leveled to 5. Just did. Backing off Snoopeh and the rest of the crew, all at level 3, roaming in a 3-man team here. See the top side, Balls is actually by himself, as well as Meteos is taken to that by himself, so they're going to get that solo experience a little sooner.
Right, so Balls sneaking in here. Because Altec freezing up top, he's not pressured under the turret, and he has some strong defensive pink ward coverage that they've put down to try and let Balls go to this lane and get this experience. They spent money on 2 pink wards to set up this defensive net that they can actually defend here. And Evelyn, let's see if he actually goes straight up the river, then he would be clear. But there's such a tendency to go through this Cloud9 jungle side that Snoopeh does get seen.
Nope. Go up. Nope, not going to happen. Meteos knowing this is here. Quickly clearing that out.
Barely in range for that pink ward, by the way. That is so close.
Oh, that's what they're saying. Looks like everybody's ready to keep placing the wards, though, as you see Snoopeh with his ward out. They actually had 5 in a row right down the line. So EG knows that map control is going to keep power in the game as well.
Yeah, EG have 5 people who had green wards, but look at Cloud9. They had not only that amount of green wards, but also 4 pink wards bought. 3 of them have already been placed. This defensive net of pink wards on their own side of the jungle is looking for any sort of maneuvers by Snoopeh. Meteos is very, very outspoken. He hates wards in his jungle. So you need to have a very strong outer perimeter of those pink ones if you want to avoid Evelyn getting that vision. But also, because he killed that ward by Wraith, they know that there is 1 pink ward there. EG know that there's 1 there.
Cloud9 also really to a fast 3 sweeper. You don't even see LemonNation with the consumable for the Sightstone in his hands, but he still got it. Trying to sweep everything out. InnoX meets up with Balls in the top lane, and he's actually a level down in this situation due to the roaming around, but should be safe. Minute 40 on Dragon.
Yeah, Trundle versus Shyvana is not too bad for Trundle. Plus he's got an extra Doran blade there with his boots, so he has move speed advantage. If he has to get away, then he can.
Wow, definitely some options for Krepo here. Level 5 to a level 4 LemonNation if they decide to actually go hard on this one. Knowing Lemon's fast fingers would get a black shield up in time, they don't go for anything.
Yeah, and you're talking about the sweeper switches there. The only one not switching out his sweeper sort of on time there is Krepo, and that's because he hasn't been able to upgrade to a Sightstone yet. He's waiting on his next back to get that Sightstone upgrade and then sweep it out. Oh, it's in action right now, Rick. You can watch it happen.
How amazing. Can we get a replay on that?
He got a pink there as well, even though High found one of their pink wards. Krepo doing his part.
It's going to be big. They're going to need those wards for this Dragon coming up.
Also, I really like how Snoopeh is playing Evelyn, because one of the biggest advantages of Evelyn is her ability to place those deep wards. And Snoopeh is putting a lot of his money into those wards. Even though you feel squishy on Evelyn, it's very, very much worthwhile to put a lot of money into early wards because she is one of the few that can place them without having to worry about the other team knowing that you are placing wards. Cloud9 countering it though with, again, their perimeter of pinks.
Getting their own wards down. You know, a lot of control has come from wards this.
Snoopeh should very well, like I said, know that there's a pink ward there, so.
Gets that one out of range.
He knows he's in danger. Okay.
Hey-o. All right, so he gets the clear, but that being up top means the jungler's not going to be there for Dragon, and it's going to be going to Cloud9 quite easily here. Yep,
because he was killing off the pink ward, they have full information on Snoopeh's whereabouts. See if Snoopeh can actually make something happen up top, though, because they gave up the second Dragon. This is following the chain of events that we just saw lead to TSM's defeat by the hands of LMQ.
Yeah. And the early pink ward coverage in the top lane thwarts Snoopeh out immediately. That 100 gold buy by everyone is paying off big time.
Yeah, we'll see though. He's trying to work around it. He knows the pink ward's there, so he's coming through the river.
Right.
He's still able to get behind, but kill potential on Balls is low at the moment because he still has his ulti up. Yep.
Diving past the minions, making sure they have to slalom through. No easy walk. He stays safe.
You know, I have seen people knock Shyvana
with the pillar.
Out of her jump with the pillar. So I was hoping for a very spectacular pillar there from InnoX, but no go for them. Just burning Balls ulti.
He'll be safe in the top lane. 56 to 56 in that one, actually. So InnoX being down has kind of played that one correctly for himself without getting too much pressure. And almost taken down balls. He still has flash up to play safe as we're checking out the mid lane with Pobelter. He's been up a level since, I believe, 7. The 6s were kind of the difference, and now it's been 7 to 6, 8 to 7, and as you see now.
Yeah, and that CS discrepancy between a Kha'Zix and a Lulu is completely acceptable for Cloud9. That's fairly good for High, not being that far behind against Lulu with the range advantage, and against Evelyn, who was pressuring him. He also got the 3-man gank. So really good collapse here onto Snoopeh. Very necessary flash. He spent so much money on those consumables. He does not have combat stats.
Ooh, great grab. I was going to say glebe, but it's not glebe. Great grab onto Krepo with that dark binding. Doesn't look like they're able to get much, but the culling forces them back as the wet noodle fight continues in the top lane.
Let's see what they're able to get done down there in the bottom lane too. Pretty good harass was dealt. But ever since they've met up, it's been very even. Pretty much the difference is, so your sweeper only reveals invisible things. Since pink wards are not invisible, you have to walk in there and see it. But yeah,
just making sure.
The bottom lane there, BF sword as opposed to cutlass. It's just the all-in advantage there from Sneaky. Scares him off. High roaming down, able to take out the pink ward, and they get the turret.
It kind of tells the story of how Cloud9 plays their games when they want to. 0 kills on the board, about a 3,500 gold lead to themselves. 1 turret now dropped to help that gold lead, but they haven't really had to be in the face of EG to make any of this happen. They're just playing their game.
It happens a lot with the way the beginning of the game is played now. The choices that teams make for lane swaps and giving up the early dragons. By going for swaps, when you say, "Oh, I don't feel confident in that lane," or "I don't want my duo to be bottom," then you are saying that you are effectively going to give up those early little bits of a gold lead. Teams have had problems with stopping the chain, though, the chain of events from Dragon, because the other team has timers. Trying to regain control of the bottom has been so hard for the teams making those switches.
Almost! Oh, no!
Little bit of a slow reaction there. Krepo flash, no go on the hook. Cloud9, pretty much everything's going according to plan here because they want to continue to get those dragons. They have the timer for 3rd, and they've taken down the bottom lane turret. So now they lane swap.
Perfect.
Snoopeh taking advantage, though.
What a great job. Gets it out. Sponges it down.
High gets caught this time.
That's the wild goal. He gets popped up. It's 1 more. Perseverance pays off for evil geniuses. Krepo wasn't going to let that go.
Yeah, I don't know. Krepo probably just made up for that with a huge play. Under turret. But really big swing for EG on the sides. Yeah, he does make up for it with a straight full range hook, and then High jumps in.
IB.
All right.
Everybody getting a little out of sorts here.
Yeah, ill-advised jump there, but it's a huge breath of fresh air for EG. They get a little bit of breathing room. Even up the turrets, regain control of the mid lane, and they're actually looking like they might be able to start getting some more vision down because they haven't had the control to place those wards yet.
We'll have to see how EG controls this. When we've seen them get a lead, namely Pobelter, they are able to hold it, and they can make it a very strong game for the win. 1 minute 20 on Dragon with those few kills. High not having flash. Hopefully Meteos will actually have a smite up. EG really needs to make a move here. They could even up the gold quite a bit. Already trying to, too.
So Krepo threw his lantern to get vision.
Yep.
Because the ward was being swept.
Dancing!
Oh, he's trying to dodge the binding. Can't do it.
That's good. Good wild growth coming up from Pobelter. Not a big cooldown on that, and it can catch you off guard. High jumps in. He just came back from dying in the fight. Going quite low. The polymorph onto High. They shut down the damage. LemonNation's going to be up next. And the teleport in from InnoX coming in huge on the play. That's a shutdown for him in gold.
Now, 2 more kills for EG to trade there. However, Dragon is on another 30 seconds while 15-second death timers for Cloud9. So Cloud9 actually died quick enough that they can get back in time for the next Dragon, and they don't lose out objectives after this trade, which is pretty impressive concerning considering EG have an extra person down in this fight. And the area of effect damage from High with his early Hydra built up there, getting the 2 kills for the team. Now, 1 TP canceled. InnoX went through with his and was able to clean up. But again, no objective. So that's going to mean an earlier cooldown coming back for Balls on his teleport.
And let's see how much control EG has. They place a pink. Can they hold it? Looks like they're able to do it so far. Good positioning. So Cloud9 is definitely respecting that.
They gave over the red to Altec, though. Pretty big for this
Yeah.
mid-game dragon fight here. We'll see. Cloud9 are one of the best teams at spreading out during team fights. Not lining up.
That is a very big grab, not allowing High to jump into the fight. Oh, he gets it that time! The wild growth coming in onto InnoX as he's in the fight already. And it looks like a huge play from EG once again begins the domino effect. Oh, it's not over. It's not over.
Oh, it's over. It's over. That was a full ace for EG.
Wow.
And they do contest the dragon. They got up the wards in time. And they're going to take the lead here. Cloud9 just lost control of the reins here. Let's see exactly how they do. Krepo comes in to play initially to get him into range. Yeah, and there it is. The wild growth knocks up Balls as well during his jump. What a good job from Pobelter there. InnoX barely stayed alive too until the end. Double kills there. And in the end, as we know, Pobelter.
Flash on flash. That's flashy. Great plays coming in. Krepo definitely not happy with that flash error. He's kind of made up for it already.
So yeah, I mean, the premise to that fight was, yeah, Cloud9 are usually great at spreading out for team fights. It's really hard to spread out in that little corridor leading up to Dragon. And Altec got a lot of damage off in that fight.
Wow, 404 Pobelter, 403 Altec. Some good moves so far from Evil Geniuses.
They would like consecutive team fights now. A 403 Altec, extremely fed. He's 1,000 gold ahead of Sneaky now. And as I said, that's where most of their damage has been coming from. So Cloud9 are going to switch tactics here. Rely on that split push Kha'Zix with Hydra from High. Trying to go for that 1-3-1, but they are behind right now. And EG really do have a lot of good vision around the mid of the map right now. If they can knock down that mid turret, it really opens up a lot of options for them to start controlling Cloud9 territory.
Very interesting position to see EG in, as well as the fact that they keep aggressing on these situations, and Cloud9 cannot handle it so far. Krepo sticking with Altec, making sure he's safe all the time. Pobelter still level up onto High, who recently bringing out Kha'Zix. Kind of worked for him the first time, but it's a little scattered now. And his camping pool seems to be falling out as well.
Well, what he's trying to do this time around is get the Kha'Zix kill onto Twitch. They're trying to get to that back line, but as we saw before,
kill the rat.
Great interruption on the jumps with Pobelter's ultimate there on Lulu. So it's making High's job more difficult.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get to the back line, and Balls wants to get to the back line to jump on Twitch. But they really rely on those Elise and Morgana stuns to start something off. This combo of cooldown reduction on these long duration crowd control effects. They want to get somebody caught up before the fight and chain those for their advantage before they're forced to jump in like that. They don't want to have to try and jump in early because, as we saw, there's so many shields and knockups from EG that it's very, very hard for them to pull off that dive before preemptively landing one of those skill shots.
EG not wasting any time here. They're going in, clearing wards, making sure their positioning is to get something else next. No time is being wasted. Great plays here. Looks like they'll be able to get a good amount of damage here. Prep it for a possible dive fight.
Cloud9 are going to try and form and defend inhibitor turret, though. They absolutely do not want to give up inhibitor turret, and they're trying to see how much they can get back from this EG team. They've got one outer turret there from Sneaky, but a very, very quick call from EG to leave right after. And here come the skill shot CCs. They're trying to delay them as long as possible.
And Pobelter just standing still. You see the terror that the cocoon into Dark Binding can have on someone. Getting out safely, Cloud9's going to go ahead and reward a little bit, figure out what got cleared out. Go ahead and make it doubly safe with 2 wards.
Also, you know, since that early game, the initial perimeter of pink wards was taken down from Cloud9. Now that they have no outer turrets up left, they have a hard time putting it back up.
So many shields.
And all this invisibility on EG just opens up so many options for EG to catch Cloud9 in one of their rotations around from one of the side lanes, that EG have a lot more threat right now.
Yeah.
Trying to catch single targets out. Cloud9 are trying to get back control. They've only got red side so far.
Cloud9 are really going to have to find some window fights here. That window is Exhaust being down for Krepo, Wild Growth being down, which is on a really short cooldown. They're, like you said, the shields, the Wild Growths, everything shuts down this Cloud9 team in a fight. It'll be very interesting to see how they get under the skin of EG here as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's the young guns from EG right now with most of the kills. Pobelter and Altec, the really young guys that have been sought after by so many teams for so long in competitive League of Legends in North America, finally making their way, funnily enough, onto the same team.
Yep.
And in this game, they are the ones with all the power for Evil Geniuses. And actually, they're the ones with all the responsibility here for the team fights. If they actually make a misstep, then that's where EG will crumble.
That percentage over to EG, 66%. Picking up, you know, you talk about Altec a little bit. His laning phase hasn't been the greatest, but his team fight phase is huge. So the 2v1 almost gives him the advantage because he's going to get through that laning phase safe and sound.
Yeah, they were happy with that. He hasn't been able to pull off any ambushes yet on his Twitch, but he's got his dual attack speed items. So when he does open up, he takes people down very quickly, and you can see how Cloud9 are adapting their play now, being more defensive, either sticking together as they move from objective to objective, or actually relying on those pink wards like Balls is up top in order to not to get surprised.
Yeah.
Just trying to hold the line here for Cloud9.
Wow,
see,
that's a scary view
blue
to
side
have.
Really scary. Dragon respawn, they don't really want to contest it. Balls is up top, so Cloud9 can make the call to just try and shove waves. Very, very risky for them to go through one of those jungle avenues. As we saw before, Altec can rip an entire team apart with Twitch's ultimate if you come down that avenue towards blue.
And everything's kind of fallen in line here for EG. You saw that little sweet play. Krepo throwing the lantern over, making sure mid has no ability to be pushed. Now they're pushing back. Driver's seat mid lane here for Evil Geniuses, but Cloud9 could sideswipe them here.
Cloud9, and they also just focused a blue buff onto Sneaky, trying to get him to the point where he can dish out that damage. That's all that Cloud9 got for their Dragon that they just gave up, though. Blue buff for Dragon. Not the best trade, and now Meteos out of position, slow on the move.
Oh, the flash. Have to be getting out of that one. That definitely would have been a necessary repellent to fight if he got caught. 9-4 as Krepo continuously makes plays. That mistake is really going headstrong on this one, and he's been making them.
Yeah, and Cloud9, though, are playing pretty smart. They know that they can't fight this EG team away from a turret.
Right.
Because it's just so hard for them to get in on Twitch. You have to get through Lulu, pillars, as well as Thresh box. So it's very hard for these divers with Balls and High because their means of diving are very risky. As we said, Shyvana's dive can be interrupted as well as High's. So it's very hard for them to get in on that Twitch, and they really need to preface that dive with a catch with one of their hard CCs. So they really need to rely on a turret to be able to do that. Because Twitch, risky for him to come out of invisibility at one end of the turrets. He can be set upon very easily. Cloud9 just playing real defensive until EG try and make a move at one of the turrets. But eventually, EG are going to have so much control of this map that they really just starve out Cloud9 and increase their gold lead to the point where Cloud9 have to try and contest the Baron in a situation where they don't have any vision.
Everything's been pushed so far. Looks like Evil Geniuses is just kind of forced to hang out for now. We see Altec in the bottom lane farming it up. Still 4-0-3. Not much has happened after those last few surge in kills. Cloud9 and definitely realizing the power that EG can bring to the table here. Just about 26 minutes into the game. Looks like everybody's trying to reset as the lanes do as well. So I have to see what team can really put their foot forward to get an advantage. Pobelter back to mid with Krepo. It looks like they're going to finally focus a little bit towards this lane, but they're meeting the entire team of Cloud9. Got that Rab Noodles death cap over onto the side of Pobelter. He's pretty built up for himself. 2 Michaelis Crucibles coming out, one for Lemon, one for Krepo. I don't really usually see that as a Krepo item. Always a Lemon item, though.
Which item?
Oh, the Michaelis.
Oh. Michaelis, that should be everybody's item if you're a support right now, because it is ridiculously strong. yeah, very important for Krepo specifically on this game because of those bindings and cocoons I keep talking about. If someone does get caught, they really need to have means to get them out of it. He'll probably be saving everything that they have, though, for Altec, because that's the key to EG's success right now.
Yeah.
Is that Twitch. That Switch is also the thing that's really keeping Cloud9 from being able to play their split push like they want to. That the threat of those dual invisible champions is what's keeping Hive from doing the same thing that Xiao was doing and split pushing bottom.
More pink wards for Cloud9 in the early game were shutting down Snoopeh and pretty much shut down everything they wanted to do. And a few mistakes we saw, High jumping into the mid, and then thereafter really giving EG this heads up in the game. So now that Cloud9 can't get those forward pink wards in, forced to be Baron wards. Ooh. Just knowing Snoopeh was right there, but they didn't know where Snoopeh was. The wild growth goes out. He stays in for a bit. A perfect lantern out. InnoX coming into the fight. A very nice teleport in. Throws down the subjugate, but cannot get that much more damage. High's into the Baron pit. High's out of the Baron pit. Oh, the Baron! Oh! The worm with the kill. Going over to Snoopeh on that one, and it looks like they're going to be able to put some damage on Baron, but they have to be careful. Meteos is just on the wing. Yeah, this would be a very desperate steal for Meteos, but if they give this one up, then it's pretty much curtains for them. So 2,000 HP on Baron, 2,500. Oh, Meteos with the steal over. That's going to be some good gold, but EG's still up 2K right now, and they can move on the map. Yeah, everybody's dead right now, so they can shove up, try and get pressure on one of the turrets. High coming right back to life, though. This is pretty early in the game. Death timer's not too long, and Cloud9 looking to get in defense for this turret. Let's see, there's only one person with the Baron buff on, though, and that's Sneak. Yeah. A little bit of help, a little bit of hurt. We'll see if this actually helps them. He's stuck on the Tormented Soil under the turret. Krepo. He hits the Ardent Blaze, looking for one more shot on the passive, but he goes a little too deep, and it's not going to be able to finish the kill. 47 seconds on Dragon. This could be Cloud9 getting two big objectives in the late game. Yeah, everybody dying, though, for that Baron, plus they lost the turret for it. EG still ahead in gold. Cloud9, nobody actually wearing the Baron buff, so they really don't have the upper hand even after the steal, although it was a great steal. And there again, one of the corridors in the jungle where Altec just gets to fire away from the back line, and Cloud9 gets melted from all sides. Baron buff, nobody's getting out of my pit alive, High. Shoots him in the back. Bugs usually eat worms, don't they? It's the other way around. 2K gold lead for EG. Cloud9, like I said, sets up for this Dragon now. Looks like they're going to want that. That's mid-game gold. Dragon's not at its full potential of cash money yet, but they'll get a pretty good chunk out of this one. Triforce and whatnot with the Bloodthirster completed on Sneaky. Looks like he's going to be trying to go quite strong as well in these next fights. The culling is up. Actually, the team will disperse back to clear mid. It's like they do go for that split pushing, though. There's some decent wards for Cloud9 on this bottom side. However, no true sight, really, in the jungle. So you can't push that far. Always have to be worried about the Evelyn and Twitch coming for you. Altec 7-0-4 fighting phase, really giving him the up and up. Keeping great positioning all over the map. You got it. A lot of people have been grabbing Cloud9 Tempest players. Yeah, Kha'Zix coming in for complexity today. There's a reason. These guys can play in the tight situations, and right now, like EG... 3/5 of the team have made it in. Having the early game is what EG needed, and that's what they got, because if they falter early game, the mid to late game for EG just becomes very hard. Ooh, and the late game here, because they've seen Altec up top. You know, High split pushing bottom. This is really Cloud9's chance. If they can get a flank from behind, if High and Balls can actually jump onto Altec from behind here with a flank, then this would be huge for them. This is actually 4 versus 5. Teleport would take... they don't even have a teleport for Trundle. Come on! Oh no! They let him out though, just barely. Not able to make the full collapse there from Cloud9. That was really their window. If they could have rushed that and cut them off. They have the wards for it. They've been setting up for it a while. Plus, on the Dragon, it just would have helped play right into what they needed, rather. Now with EG back down the mid lane, trying to dictate portions of the game as soon as they can. This is a different EG. Uh-oh. He doesn't want to take that. There's no reason. There is a lantern here. Do not look. Ilo's in the middle. Oh, the flay on the jump, very nice. High is ultimate, or using his ultimate now. Krepo's the one taking the brunt of the damage. This is going to be perfect for the damage dealers. Altec going into 1v1 right now with Meteos on the backside. They get a bit of crowd control, but everybody from Cloud9 is being yanked in different directions as Krepo keeps hitting the hooks. 2 more kills for Altec.
No damage can get back to Altec. High gets the initial jump played, and then he's not able to get back there. Yes, Balls can ult, but Balls is mostly tanked right now, and he's easily dealt with. Meteos goes with that cooldown reduction tank Elise build. He's not a problem for Altec, and EG get to run through the entire base here. Can they finish the Nexus turret?
What a straightforward game from Evil Geniuses. Amazing Thresh play from Krepo, getting the Meteos to save him there. As I say, he almost dies face first into a turret, but after his mistake, he turned it on like we haven't seen from him before.
All right, let's take a look here, because High gets cornered. The 2 invisible champions, Altec and Snoopeh on the backside. Interrupts. He does dodge the hook, but then he can't get in there onto Altec. They're all doing all this damage into Krepo, and Altec's able to flash backwards away from Balls. What a great box there from Krepo, right in the middle of where all the jungle paths converge, and he just cuts off every avenue for Cloud9. They have nowhere to maneuver, and they just get obliterated by Altec from the back.
LemonNation, we said him and Sneaky were ones to do over 50% of the damage from the bot lane. Buys himself a Zanyas as they're still trying to put out power, give them ways to get through these fights sneakily. And hopefully it can be a good soul shackle for him next time, because they are up against the ropes now. Inhibitor down, 1 Nexus turret as well, and EG's not letting go of their grasp.
Yeah, Cloud9 really grasping at straws here, looking to try and make something happen down bottom. They haven't been seen actually, so they're going for one of these sneak attack bush attempts. When you get forced into a bad spot here, 17-4, gotta go for risky maneuvers like this.
InnoX into the brush, looking to dodge a dark binding. He's under the turret. Snoopeh's just on the other side. InnoX is huge right now, almost lives to that shield, but the culling is just going to be too much along with High's damage. Snoopeh and Krepo do what they can, but now they have to be careful of how much they get pushed around the map from what C9 wants to do.
Yeah, risky play plays off. I mean, 1 inhibitor down is not that bad. They do have to send somebody back to defend right now because it's a single Nexus turret, and that will die by itself to super minions if you don't defend it. But they got their pick. They made their desperate play. They had the opening, killed the tank. Small win there for Cloud9. Buys them some time, though, for the inhibitor respawn.
Slowly clearing out map, doing what they can. That's going to be Pobelter's grab on the ward. Easily over the edge. 5-0 and 10 for Pobelter. Over 60 CS up right now onto High. Just coming out huge in the game, as well as Altec, 9-0 and 6. Definitely putting up some numbers in this game. Fantasy members, they'll be happy about that. Hopefully I don't speak too soon.
So yeah, the best strategy for Fantasy is not always just to get the best team that will win super quick. You want the teams that are just going to fight all the time. Because even if they have a lot of fights and they die, they get so many more points for kills and assists. That the longer the game goes, there it is for your Fantasy.
Make it a bloodbath. Let's go. Seeing Sneaky coming from behind this game, not in CS. He definitely doesn't have the kill ratio. Going over to Altec. Has 3 items, but he's not on that Infinity Edge up, so it's going to be big hits coming from that spray. Rat-a-tat-tat, I should say.
Yeah, well, let's see if Cloud9 can actually get a flank off, because they haven't been able to get any damage to Altec in the back lines. And they've been so focused on getting back there, they just get wrecked by the rest of EG. Oh, Meteos gets caught.
This is exactly what EG's been looking for the whole game, but it looks like the pillar affects them negatively for a second. He's able to squeeze Daibo and InnoX. Just getting himself there. Ooh. Only took 1 more shot. Altec picking up another kill, bringing it to 10-0 and 6. Evil Geniuses are just seamlessly moving through the map.
They're looking to end the game right now.
They are.
2 members extra here. Only 1 Nexus turret should be pretty easy.
Yeah, they have ults up. The only one they're missing right now is Subjugate and the Rat-a-tat-tat.
They don't want to go without a minion line.
Well, they're timing this as well, maybe. The inhibitor's going to be up soon, so they know they don't want to walk forward and get dodged onto that one. There we go. Taking down the inhibitor 1 more time. It's going to be a 4,000 gold lead. Pretty much on the dot as we round out 35 minutes.
Most frustrating thing when you're trying to end a Nexus.
That's great timing by them, though. Great mindset there.
Yeah, it just goes to show how well they have actually been timing everything.
You can
so
see how
far.
easy it would be to like, oh my god, beat Cloud9 right now, let's go, and get caught in that. But very good mindset, sound
They've got
play.
so much vision over this Baron.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed pickup for them. They're happy with giving up Dragon. And they're not even going to base for the buy after that Baron. They can shove in on top.
What a play.
Top lane
This is going to be a lot of blue pills being hit over here on the side of Cloud9, moving in very fast, especially with Pobelter glitter lancing these waves down. They're onto the turret before Cloud9 can even reach their base.
This one they're okay with face tanking. Look at that ginormous shield on InnoX as well. Turret probably won't even get through. That goes down in a matter of seconds.
Inhibitors in their eyes. You can see Altec not even taking that much from the volatile spider. Randuin's not really finished up onto Meteos, but that doesn't matter. Balls high, able to facilitate that slow. Just back and forth. EG, knowing that they have the upper hand, are not afraid to take the few steps forward.
2 inhibitors down is usually the end for teams that are down. 19-5. So all that EG have to do is swing down to the bottom side and wait for super minions to do their work.
Pobelter and Altec score buddies. 6-0-10, 10-0-6.
They've got to feel so good right now. They've been working through so much this split.
Yeah.
Criticism from all sides. Tryouts for all of their positions.
Yep.
Well, all of the older
Right.
guys'
Right.
positions. Altec coming in, having
Still
not the best
school.
start. He's still in school, yeah. They got, Pobelter graduated, and then Altec came on, and they still have
They got the Scholastic program going in. Just cycle one in, cycle one out.
But yeah, they're trying to get over all of these different things, and to take down Cloud9 is a huge boost for a team that's traditionally on the bottom of the standings here.
EG still keeping it in mind that they can't go too hard on this. Few grabs that they want, 2 connecting grabs. The Krepo's just using for harass, using to get into the side of Cloud9. EG knows how much strength they have on this game right now. The flash, there it is! The Soul Shackle locks him up, so it actually hits nobody, just the beginning amount of damage. Great movement by Altec on the back line, shredding through the team. Meteos jumps on Altec. They're finally able to get a few more shots in from the side of Sneaky, but that's the run through. EG's looking for LemonNation now, and Meteos is the only one that's going to be left after this barrage on the base.
Ooh, he's gonna get away. So
Oh, he does.
LemonNation doesn't get a death screen,
timed
but
the shoot.
they got back to Altec. It actually took Sneaky getting all the way back there.
Evil Geniuses 38-35 are going to take down Cloud9 and start to work their way back up the standings.
Game versus one of the best teams in North America. Huge confidence booster for this Evil Genius team.